Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have to try something different because there's no way I can wrap this in the clay. You saw the clay just kind of disintegrated. Luckily, this actually worked, and that proved to me that definitely we can actually do it that way, providing we have a clay that can take a bit more temperature. So what am I going to do? Well, something that I want to give a try as well, which is also from that time period, is using cast iron shavings or powder. So basically what you do, bring this up to forge welding temperatures, and because cast iron not only has huge amounts of carbon, but also because the melting point of cast iron is way lower, it should actually melt into the edge of the bill hook. Now, because I am actually going to still sharpen it from this side, I'm gonna have to put it on this end. I think we're nearly there now. Yeah, we're there now. Alright, let's try this. Yeah, that didn't do anything. Yeah, it melted a bit. Okay, so yeah, it's kicking up heat now. I need to put that back in the fire and now try and get it to melt. Just gently. So I don't push it off. I'm going to take it out of the fire in a second, and I'm going to hit it with a hammer just to kind of forge weld it into it. Okay, we're done. Now I need to figure out how to move this steel in the way I want it to. So I actually placed this on there, made a blue line surrounding it, and this is kind of where we're at. So the plan is to move some of this material inwards to push it up that direction. Then some of this material is slightly over as well, so I can actually push it into this area. This part of the bill hook is about 4 mil. We're about 3 mil down here. So then that means I kind of have to move the steel in up into the corner there and out that way. Then once I've done that, I'm going to obviously push it back in because it's probably going to travel in this direction. Then 5 and 6 is just basically going to be kind of getting it to this point somehow. So we'll see. Okay, let's do the time. Now I'm leaving this bit thicker just so that it's kind of, tapering down into the blade. Give it a bit of strength. so the piece is as straight as an arrow. We're pretty good going, but we need to forge weld a ring. Now luckily we do have a spare piece. So I'm thinking forge welding would be the way to go, but I'm gonna have to scarf up the ends, thin this out a little bit more, draw it out a bit more, and then we'll give it a shot and see what happens. We have a scarf now. Now I want to create the scarf on the other side, so I'm going to have to turn the piece around and making sure that it's exactly even from this point to that point. And then we should be good. Alright, so we've got like a, you see that? Type of scarf on either end, on opposite sides. Now, is this how you're supposed to do it? I really don't know. All I know is I think I'm going to end up with way too big a circle. Yep. It's rather to have too much than too little, as we have learnt. No, actually I might be fine, because I have to account for the wood as well. That seems to be working anyway. Yeah, here. There we go. Let's got our stick. There's many ways to skin a cat. I think we're good. Good enough anyway. Yeah, let's just get that little kink out there. Now, and then we have one ring completed and a bill hook ready to be quenched and hardened. I'm not going to temper it, there's no point really. And I'm really hoping that the cast iron will have done the trick. If it doesn't, well, it's going to be a very lovely ornament on my wall that I'm going to have fond memories of for years to come. So let's see if that works. Stick it in the fire and just hope for the best. Now, the file test should tell us if this has worked or not. Okay. It's definitely biting in there. It is somewhat harder. Oh wow. That's kind of skating. It's actually skating pretty much everywhere, and I'm gone into the layer of, okay, it's biting in there a little bit. biting in there a bit. But there, actually, honest to God, it's skating. I can't believe it. But it feels like it's skating in several places. So maybe the tool, because of all the forging, it's definitely skating way more there anyway. But because of all the forging, maybe it has picked up quite a bit of carbon. So that is interesting. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that this is extremely straight as well. So I am going to temper it a little bit, because I'm going to heat up the handle now to stick on a wooden handle, just burn it through. That's going to by default temper this area, and then I'm going to heat a little bit this area, and so we should have a straw, and that would be enough. Just in case. I don't think it needs it, but just in case, you never know. And then it's going to be a great tool. The only one little fault that I could find with it is these kind of forging marks. I couldn't get them out. Everywhere else it's pretty clean. So let's put a handle on it and yeah, get it finished. I'm going on purpose for a rustic look here, because I think it just would kind of be fitting somehow. Okay, so just so I know what I'm doing, I'm going to put the ring on there, just burn it on into the right location, and that allows me then also, I want the forge weld a bit facing upwards, and that kind of also probably should harden up the area as well a little bit. I don't know if this is actually a good idea or a bad idea. It's made a little ring anyway, so I can actually see that now. Now, I was at it for about 20 minutes and I got down about 1.5 inches, and then I said sod this, and so basically I drilled into it, because of course, you know, they would have probably just drilled it. And I'm going to drill it now from both sides, and it's still going to heat up the material inside, because I'm still going to burn it through and harden it anyway. It's just I'm running out of time. I'm going off a little bit. There we go. Fantastic. You know, I'm now filing away at this, and it's 45 minutes into it, and I'm not finding any soft center, to be honest. It's like it is biting, but it's not like I'm not finding the wrought iron in the center. So I think we've really hardened it all the way through. That means I really got to temper this up to a bronze temper color. So I'm going to stick the back now in the fire, which will also give me a chance to heat up the material at the back once more and really fit it into the handle, so I had enough length at the end to bend it over. That is good news, really good news. Just move it forward a bit. There we go. Now that'll ensure that it's also a tight fit. Okay, so this is nice and tight now, and the moment of truth has arrived. We're going to have to try and see if we can bend this over without breaking anything. Oh yeah. I did thin out this bit at the end. Lovely. Now this is how bill hooks actually were made, with a little hook at the end. Some were also peened with a washer, but a lot of them were actually just bent like that, and that's what I'm going to go for on this bill hook. Okay, so that concludes the video. We have ourselves a very useful tool. Indexes really well because of course I made it to fit my hand, and it's really perfect because of this little curve. I can actually stick it in my pocket, go out, do some gardening. I don't even notice it's there. I can't cut myself because of the shape of it, and that in itself is great because I was just looking for some kind of knife that I could carry around that wouldn't be bothersome, and this is actually the solution. So that's really cool. Now, did I manage to get it to the actual shape of the drawing? Now, sorry about the drawing, it's a little bit... So, we got close enough. I'm missing some on this side here, and a little bit here, and a tiny bit there. And also, of course, it was supposed to be 3mm, now it's 2mm thick. But that's okay, you know, I was just trying to challenge myself, and it is really a good challenge for new blacksmiths to try to work to a drawing, and next time will be better. Reason being is wrought iron, I didn't factor that wrought iron actually squishes down quite considerably, and that's where I was kind of stuck, I think. So, did we manage to get a good edge on this? Basically what happened is, while I was filing it from this side, the cast iron layer, I got into the cast iron layer and it was a little bit brittle, to be expected, and so I got a bit of brittleness here and there. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't going to be good enough for a gardening tool. So I sharpened it also quite tediously from the other side and got rid of that excess cast iron, and about 1mm inwards I've got a hardened steel. On this side, 1mm inwards, I have a soft material, so I'm gonna have to sharpen it more from the other side, basically. So it actually could work, and it would work even better using, of course, mild steel, which has way higher carbon content. So that's something worth, you know, bearing in mind. That's it. Concludes the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I want to say one last time, really like a big thank you to Roy and Jessica. Thank you for having me as part of this collaboration. You know, and as I'm new to this, and I've learned so much, you know, using wrought iron, having to be forced to try and do case hardening and all those things. I probably would have not done that otherwise. So if you want to check everybody else's project, I'll link it in the description. But other than that, hope you learned something. And as always, thanks for watching, and hope to see you in the next one as well.